My family said it was my duty to pay for my brother's wedding, so I covered all. Then they told me I wasn't invited, so I crushed their plan, left them scrambling to fix the wreckage. I was sitting at my desk, exhausted after another 12-hour shift when my phone buzzed. It was a text from my younger brother, Max. "Hey man, just wanted to let you know. Don't worry about coming to the wedding. This is mostly a formal event, and we're keeping the guest list tight. No hard feelings, okay? No hard feelings. No hard feelings. I paid for everything, the venue, the catering, the band, the decorations, even the wedding dress. It wasn't even my idea, I never offered, but my parents guilt-tripped me, saying, 'You're the successful older brother. It's your responsibility to help your family.' So, like a fool, I did. And now, after I had burned through my entire savings, they had the audacity to tell me I wasn't even invited." I felt my chest tighten. My fingers shook as I reread the message. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe he was joking. I called him. No answer. I called again. Straight to voicemail. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. This wasn't real. This couldn't be real. I took a deep breath and dialed my mother instead. She picked up on the second ring, her voice sweet as ever. "Oh, sweetheart, I was just thinking about you." I forced my voice to stay calm. "Mom, what's going on with Max's wedding?" A pause, then a sigh. "Oh, honey, don't be upset, all right? It's just, well, Max and Lily want a very elegant atmosphere and they're trying to keep the guest list curated. Curated. Like I was some kind of embarrassment that needed to be filtered out of their perfect little fairy tale." I clenched my fist so tight my nails dug into my palm. "So let me get this straight," I said slowly. "I paid for the whole wedding, but I'm not good enough to attend?" "Oh, sweetheart, don't be so dramatic," Mom tutted. "You know how these things are. It's not about you, it's just that Lily's family is very particular about the kind of guests." "The kind of guests?" My voice rose. "What does that mean?" She clicked her tongue. "Well, you work so much, and you never really mix with their type of people. It's just..." I couldn't listen anymore. I hung up. I gripped my phone so hard I thought I might break it. My whole life I had sacrificed everything for my family. I had always been the responsible one, the dependable one, and this was my reward. I stared at the ceiling, my mind racing. No, this was the last time they would ever use me. I should have seen this coming. This wasn't the first time my family had used me. It was just the biggest betrayal. Ever since I was a kid, my parents had drilled one lesson into me. Family comes first. But what they really meant was, you will sacrifice everything so we don't have to. Max was always the golden child, the charming one, the funny one, the one who, according to my parents, was destined for greatness. And me? I was the workhorse, the reliable one, the one who was expected to be responsible, while Max coasted through life without consequences. When we were kids, I had to share everything with him. If I got a new toy, Max would cry until I gave it to him. If I got a bigger piece of cake, my mother would cut it in half and hand the rest to me. "He's your little brother," she would say. "You should take care of him." And I did. I gave him everything. In school, when Max got into trouble for not doing his homework, my mother begged me to help him out. That turned into me doing his assignments for him. When he got older and blew all his money partying, my parents told me to lend him some. That turned into me covering his rent for an entire year. When he dropped out of college and couldn't find a job, they told me to let him stay with me. Just for a few months. That turned into 2 years, and I let it happen. I let them turn me into his safety net, his personal ATM, his problem solver. Because every time I pushed back, I got the same response. "But he's your brother." It was always framed as my duty, my responsibility, my burden to carry. Then Max met Lily, and suddenly everything became about the wedding. My parents were thrilled. Finally, their golden child was doing something right. They started planning the event as if it were a royal affair. "This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment," my mother gushed. "We have to make it special." And by we, she meant me. First, it was small things. They asked if I could cover the deposit for the venue. "It's just a little help," my father assured me. Then it was the catering. "You know Max isn't in a stable job right now." Then the photographer, the flowers, the decorations. Every request followed the same pattern: guilt, pressure, obligation. "You're the older brother. You have a good job. It's only fair you contribute." And I did. I told myself it was fine, that it was just money, that helping my family was the right thing to do. But the more I gave, the more they expected. My parents never once suggested that Max contribute anything. He and Lily just kept adding to the list, assuming I would handle it. And I did, until I found out that I wasn't even invited. Sitting in my apartment that night, staring at my phone, rereading Max's message over and over again, something inside me cracked. This wasn't just about the wedding. It was about every single time they had taken me for granted, every sacrifice I had made, every dollar I had handed over, every time I had put my own life on hold for them. And for what? So they could cut me out when it no longer suited them? so they could pretend I didn't exist the moment I wasn't useful. I clenched my fists, my heart pounding. No, not this time. This time I was done. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. Over and over I replayed every time my family had used me, every time I had put them first, every time I had told myself that I was doing the right thing, that family was supposed to help each other, and every single time they had repaid me with nothing but entitlement. By morning, my anger had hardened into something cold and final. I was not going to let this go, not this time. I called my mother first. She picked up on the second ring, her voice bright and cheerful. "Oh, sweetheart, are you excited for the big day?" I forced myself to stay calm. "Tell me something, Mom. Why wasn't I invited?" A pause. "Oh, honey, don't start this again. We talked about it." "No, you talked." I want an answer. She sighed dramatically like I was being unreasonable. "Sweetheart, it's not personal. It's just, you work so much, and you're not really part of their social circle. It would be awkward." I clenched my jaw. "Awkward? You wouldn't fit in, honey. You know how these things are." I let out a short, humorless laugh. "So, let me get this straight. I was good enough to pay for the wedding, but not good enough to attend?" She tutted. I gritted my teeth. "Put Dad on the phone." She huffed, but passed the phone over. My father's voice came through, gruff and impatient. "Listen, we don't have time for this nonsense. The wedding is tomorrow. Don't make a scene." I felt my pulse pounding in my ears. "Dad, tell me the truth. Did you know about this? Did you know they weren't inviting me?" He exhaled sharply. "Look, Max and Lily made their decision. It's their wedding, and you just went along with it? Son, don't be selfish. It's their day, and honestly, maybe it's for the best. You have a tendency to what?" I snapped. "To not let people walk all over me? To expect basic respect? To be difficult?" He finished, his voice cold. "You're always making things harder than they need to be. Just let it go." I laughed again, this time louder. "Wow, you really don't see it, do you?" "See what?" he asked, irritated. "That you've been using me my entire life. Don't be ridiculous." I shook my head. "I'm done." Silence. "What?" I said. "I'm done with all of you. Don't call me, don't ask me for money, don't expect a thing from me ever again." Now it was his turn to laugh. "Oh, come on, don't be childish." I didn't answer. "So you can't just cut off your family. Watch me." I hung up. I sat there, staring at the phone, my hands shaking. They would call back. They would try to guilt me, manipulate me, make me feel like the bad guy. But this time, I wasn't listening. This time, I was free. I expected silence after I hung up on my father. I thought maybe, just maybe, they would finally understand, that they would realize I was serious, that they would let me go. I was wrong. The storm started the next morning. I woke up to 22 missed calls from my mother, 10 from my father, 3 from Max, and over 40 messages. "We need to talk." "You're being irrational. This is not how family treats each other. Call me back now. You're embarrassing us." I turned off my phone. An hour later, someone was banging on my door. It wasn't just knocking, it was pounding, like whoever was on the other side was trying to break it down. My stomach twisted into a tight knot. I lived alone, no one ever came by unannounced. Walked over and looked through the peephole. It was my mother, her face tight with anger, her hands clenched into fists. She looked furious. I sighed. This wasn't going to be easy. I unlocked the door and opened it just a crack. "Mom?" She shoved past me, storming inside before I could stop her. "What is wrong with you?" she snapped, spinning around to face me. I took a slow breath. "Good morning to you too." "Don't start with that tone," she hissed. "Do you have any idea what you've done? You humiliated your brother. You humiliated this family." I stared at her in disbelief. "I humiliated you?" My voice was eerily calm. "You cut me out of the wedding after I paid for it, and now you're mad at me?" She folded her arms across her chest. "You're being dramatic." I let out a hollow laugh. "Dramatic? I gave everything to this family, and the second I say no, you all act like I never existed." Her eyes darkened. "You're making a scene. That's why Max didn't want you there. You always make things about yourself." That hit me harder than I expected. I swallowed down the lump in my throat. "No, Mom. I make things about survival. I worked myself to the bone so that Max could have a free ride. I spent years putting you all first." She flinched, but quickly recovered. "Max is your brother. You should support him." I clenched my fists. "And what about me? When have any of you ever supported me?" She exhaled sharply. "We raised you. We gave you everything. You gave me expectations. That's not love. That's control." Silence. Her lips pressed into a thin line. "Fine," she said coolly. "If that's how you feel, then you can deal with the consequences." I narrowed my eyes. "What consequences?" Her gaze was cold, calculating. You think you can just cut us off? That's not how this works. You'll see the consequences. I stepped closer, my voice slow. No, Mom, you'll see the consequences. For the first time, she looked uncertain. Leave, I said. She hesitated, then turned on her heel and stormed out. I closed the door, locked it, and then collapsed onto the floor, letting out a breath I had been holding for years. It was over. Or at least, I thought it was. Until Max called me later that night, and this time he wasn't calling to apologize. This time, he was calling to destroy me. Max's name flashed on my phone screen. I stared at it, my heart pounding. I could ignore him, block his number, pretend he didn't exist. But something inside me whispered, no, pick up, end this. So I did. Hello. His voice was sharp, angry. What is wrong with you? I leaned against the counter, gripping the phone tightly. Excuse me. You just cut off Mom and Dad just like that. I exhaled slowly. You're such a selfish bad guy, I laughed, the sound bitter. I'm selfish? Yes, he shouted. You abandoned your own family after everything they did for you. I shook my head. Everything they did to me, you mean? Oh, don't start with that victim complex. His voice dripped with disdain. You think you're some kind of martyr? Newsflash, dude, no one cares. I clenched my jaw. Then why are you calling me, Max? Silence. I smirked. You need money, don't you? More silence. Then, low and quiet, he said, I shouldn't have to ask. A laugh burst from my lips. Oh my God, you actually think I owe you? You're my brother. No, Max, I was your wallet. His breath hitched, like he wasn't expecting me to say it out loud. You're such a disappointment. And you, I said. Silence again, but this time there was something else there, something darker. You're going to see the consequences, he said finally. A chill ran down my spine. What's that supposed to mean? You'll see. Then he hung up. I stared at the screen, my pulse hammering. Something wasn't right, and I was about to find out exactly what. It started small, a denied transaction on my credit card, a strange email from my bank asking if I had recently changed my address. Then, a week later, I woke up to find my account drained. Every penny gone. I sat there, staring at the empty balance, my mind struggling to process what I was seeing. Then the call came. Sir, the bank representative said, we have reason to believe this was an authorized transaction. The funds were transferred to a joint account under your family's name. A joint account. My family's name. I felt like I was drowning. So you're telling me my own brother stole my money? The woman on the line hesitated. Legally, since the account was previously linked to yours, it doesn't qualify as theft. I nearly dropped the phone. Not theft, because legally my money had been accessible to them. I had never removed their names because I had never imagined they would do this to me. I drove straight to my parents' house. The second my mother opened the door, I pushed past her. She gasped, "Excuse me, where is he?" My voice was cold, controlled. She crossed her arms. "You have no right to barge in here. Where is he?" A slow clap echoed from the hallway. Max stepped into view, smirking. "Well, well," he said, "look who finally decided to visit." I saw red. I lunged at him, grabbing his collar, shoving him against the wall. "Give it back." He didn't flinch, he just smiled. "No." I shoved harder. "I swear to God, Max." "What?" He snoot. "Go hit me. Go ahead. Prove to Mom and Dad what a bad guy you are." I froze. He wanted this. He wanted me to lose control, to give them a reason to turn this all on me. I let go, stepped back. Max smoothed his shirt. "Smart choice." I turned to my parents. "You let him do this?" My father shrugged. "You should have stayed loyal to your family." Something inside me shattered. I took a step back, looking at them, really looking at them for the first time. They didn't care. They never had. They never would. I exhaled. "Okay." Max frowned. "What?" I smiled. "Okay." Then I walked out. It took 2 months to rebuild. I filed a fraud claim. It was denied. I hired a lawyer. He told me I had a case, and I sued them. I sued my own family. Max, of course, played the victim. He cried on social media about how money tore us apart. My parents begged me to drop it. But I didn't. Because this time I wasn't saving them. This time I was saving myself. The lawsuit dragged on, but in the end, I won. The judge ruled in my favor. Max was forced to pay back every cent, and when he couldn't, his precious wedding fund was seized, his car repossessed, his perfect life destroyed. And my parents? They called, they begged, they said they were sorry. I blocked their numbers. And for the first time in my life, I was finally free. Update. It's been a year without phone calls demanding money, a year without waking up to panicked messages about someone in the family needing my help, a year without feeling like my entire existence was meant to serve everyone but myself. For the first time, I'm free. It wasn't easy. Cutting them off felt like tearing off a part of myself. No matter how much they hurt me, they were still my family. There were nights I lay awake, wondering if I had done the right thing, if I had gone too far, if I was truly as selfish as they said. But then I'd remember everything, the years of being used, the emotional blackmail, the money I worked for only to watch it disappear into their hands, the wedding, the betrayal. That's when the guilt would fade, and all that remained was a quiet, overwhelming sense of relief. Max is gone. He cut me off completely after the lawsuit, deleted me from social media, blocked my number. I haven't heard a single word from him since. My parents, though, they tried to hold out at first. They were furious. They called me every name in the book. They told the entire extended family that I had turned my back on them, that I was heartless, that I was ungrateful after everything they had done for me. But then, months later, the tone shifted. A few weeks ago, my mother sent me a message. "Son, let's talk. We all made mistakes. You don't want to live with regret, do you?" I stared at the screen for a long time. Regret? What exactly was I supposed to regret? That I stopped letting them treat me like a walking ATM? That I finally put myself first? And yet, I hesitated. Because as much as I wanted to believe I had moved on, there was a part of me that still craved what I never had, a real family, a mother who loved me for more than what I could provide, a father who saw me as something more than a financial backup plan, a brother who actually cared, and a small, foolish part of me wondered, had they changed? I didn't respond. I told myself I needed more time. A few days later, another message came. "Your father and I miss you. Max wants to make amends too. Let's sit down and talk, just once. No expectations, no pressure." I laughed when I read it. No expectations, no pressure? That's what they always said right before they asked me for something? Still, the thought gnawed at me. What if, after everything, they really did want to fix things? What if this was my chance to have the family I had always wanted? Or what if this was just another trap? I haven't answered them yet. I don't know if I will, because I know how this goes. I let them back in, and for a while everything will seem fine. They'll play nice, act loving, tell me they've changed, and then, one day I'll get a message, "Hey, we're struggling with some bills right now. Max just needs a little help getting back on his feet. We knew we could count on you." And suddenly, I'll be right back where I started.